All right, shalom. Shalom to the elect of Israel, whoever you might be out there. We'll start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Hey, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. So as you know, or if you didn't know, we are currently celebrating the high holy day of Hanukkah, or otherwise known as Hanukkah, all right? A high holy day in the nation of Israel, okay? And here is outline on why we celebrate this high holy day in the book of 1 Maccabees, the 4th chapter. You can read about it right here, okay? And also, in the book of John, it talks about how Yahweh Shai celebrated the Feast of Dedication, which is another name for Hanukkah or Hanukkah, all right? So let's go ahead and read it. 1 Maccabees chapter 4. It goes into, the victory that we had over the heathen, man. Okay? Back in the time of, the Grecians, when they were, or the Greeks, should I say, when they were pretty much ransacking our temple and gave up the, what's the name I'm looking for, man? The abomination of desolation, should I say. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's when they pretty much sacrificed swine's flesh on the altar of Yahweh Shai Shai. And they punished our people for keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, killing men, women, and children. All right, it was against the law to call yourself a Jew. It was against the law to circumcise your children. And if they caught you doing so, they would put you to death. And we got a victory over those bastards through the Maccabees, man. All right, Yahweh Shai used the Maccabees to overcome the heathen, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get it. 1 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 1. 35, it says, "Now when Lysias saw his army put to flight, and the manliness of Judas' soldiers, and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, he went to Antiochia and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army gather greater than it was, he purposed to come again unto Judea. Then said Judas and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profane, and the gates burned up, and shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, and the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes and made great lamentation and cast ashes upon their heads." Now, when you do that, people rent their clothes, their garments, and put ashes on their head. That's a sign. It's a sign of mourning. Okay, it's an ancient sign of mourning. So, verse 40 says, "And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets, and cried toward heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law, who cleansed the sanctuary, and bare out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, because they burnt, swine's flesh, man, which is an abominable, food. It's an abominable, not a food. It's an abominable meat. All right, it's an unclean animal, and they sacrificed unclean beasts on the altar of Yahweh Shai. So they had to clean the sanctuary, man. Once they came upon it, once they got the heathen up out of there, they rededicated the sanctuary, and we're going into that right now. Okay, so they took the stones and put it into an unclean place. All right. Verse 44. And when, as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down. They just said, man, let's just take it down, man. They didn't burn swine's flesh on this thing. They profaned, the altar. Let's just take it down. All right. Because that's why you heathens are finna get the shit be out of you here very shortly, man. This is why we're finna rule over you heathen with a rod of iron. All right, this is part of the reason why. Okay, verse 46. "And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former. and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. So they began to, renovate and restore the temple, man. Okay. So yeah, Salakia. So let's see verse 47. Salakia, if I didn't read that, I'll read it again. Verse 47. Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former. Oh yeah, because that's part of the law, man. You're not supposed to have cut stones when you're building that altar, man. If I'm not mistaken, you're not supposed to have no cut stones. You're supposed to just take whole stones. And it says, verse 48, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick and the altar of burnt offerings and of incense and the table. And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give the light in the temple. All right. Now it's also called the celebration of lights, if I'm not mistaken. That's another name for Hanukkah or Hanukkah, or also the Feast of Dedications. Those are all the same celebration, the High Holy Day, okay? Because they lit the candlesticks, man, and they burned incense, all right, when they were rededicating the temple of Yahweh Shemi Shai after the heathen were defeated. Verse 51. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, because they did this on the same exact day, prior. The heathen pretty much defiled the temple, okay, on that same day. All right. So, for example, like, say the 25th of November, say that was the day where the heathen defiled the temple, right? Well, a year or whatever later, all right, that same day, they rededicated the temple, man, on that same day. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, continuing on, let's see. Salakia. Okay, Salakia, my bad. I had something going on here. But let's continue on. So, all right, on the 25th month, or the 25th day of Caslu, all right, that's when they, commenced in celebrating their victory. Okay. Let's see, verse 53, and it says, matter of fact, verse 54, Salakia. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals. So there was a time of rejoicing, man, because they got the victory over the heathen. They took the temple back and they renewed it. All right. It's kind of what we're doing in the spirit right now, man. We're taking back our heritage that the heathen stole from us. All right. Because they're over there in our Holy Land right now, but the He's getting ready to cleanse that place with fire. All right. Nuclear fire. And we're going to rededicate it, officially when we come back down from the chariots, man. But anyway, let's continue on. All right. So, First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the Most High of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. And so it's a celebration of 8 days. Okay. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. All right. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, all right, Judas Maccabees, all right, or Maccabeus, all right, a mighty man of the Lord, right? Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 5 and 20th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness. So this is a very, celebratory day, man. Or not day, but week, should I say. All right. Verse 60. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles, or the heathens, should come and tread it down as they had done before. All right, so this is talking about the actual natural Gentiles, man. Okay, this is talking about actual heathens right here. So they built up the wall so they, wouldn't bring their ass over there and mess it up again. Verse 61. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Beth-Surah to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea. And Idumea will be Edom, all right? Damn devils, man. All right? The so-called white man. So there you go, man. In a nutshell, that's the reason why we celebrate Hanukkah or Hanukkah, or also otherwise known as the Feast of Dedication, because this is when we got the victory over the heathen, all right, who profaned our temple and sacrificed swine's flesh on the altars of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and killed a lot of our men, women, and children. Okay, we got the victory over them, and we rededicated our temple, man. And this is why we're celebrating this today and for 7 more days. Okay, it came in last night at sundown, the first day. Okay, so yeah, man, just wanted to bring that out. And now we can't do it perfectly because we're in captivity. All right, so you celebrate by understanding why you're celebrating it and being joyous, man, because we're gonna get the victory over these damn heathens once and for all, man. Once Yahweh Shai returns, man, Israel's gonna do valiantly just like they did back in the day, except on a larger scale. All right, we're getting ready to defeat the heathen, all right, once more. All right, the heathen today being these other nations, but mainly Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, who took our heritage from us and is defiling our holy land right now. Okay, over there in the Middle East, man, he's defiling our land, known as Israel. Okay, so yeah, man, just want to do a quick edifying lesson on this high holy day, and Lord willing, you were edified. All right, so we're rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, and also another point, it's not a Sabbath, but once the Sabbath hits, okay, because we have a new Sabbath coming in, and I believe it's on the 23rd at sundown, okay, to the next day at sundown. That's how long the Sabbath lasts. But I believe that's when the new Sabbath is coming in, okay. But continue to do the work and believe on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because we will have the victory over the heathen once again. This time is going to be a permanent victory. So yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yasharala and Abad Babal. Victory, man. Shalom.